After 7 years in the Air Force as a nuclear missile launch officer, I moved to Texas and became a member here at Hunters Glen in 1989. In July 1999, our church went on its first mission trip to Russia. That trip changed my life. Our team of 15 people worked with kids from the Child in Danger Shelter, a place for kids that have been abused, abandoned, or neglected. There I met 4 school-age siblings who were assigned to that shelter. They had no father and a disengaged mom. After 6 days ministering to these kids, we returned to the USA. In the summer of 2000, I tried to assemble a second trip to Russia, but it never materialized. Late that summer, my friend David Bryant invited me to go with the Josh McDowell Ministry on Operation Care Lift to St. Petersburg. During that trip, I made arrangements with a Russian pastor to visit the 4 kids I had met in '99. It was scary to be outside of my Josh McDowell group and see how Russians really lived as I rode that underground subway to their home. When I arrived, all 4 kids were there waiting on me. We had a small meal. I gave out some gifts, and I could have stayed there all night. Sergey, a small 12-year-old boy at the time, walked me out to the bus stop in ankle-deep snow. He asked through the translator if I would baptize him. It was mistranslated. Later, I got clarification that he wanted me to be his godfather to witness his baptism in the Russian Orthodox tradition. He also wanted to see me one more time. Well, the next morning, Sergey came to the hotel an hour before our group was to leave Russia. He sat in my lap as we talked about his difficult life, church, and that I hoped to come back one day. Back home, 3 days later, an email came from that pastor. He said Sergey had called him and he translated 3 sentences of his letter. So Sergey began writing me once or twice a week and started to go to church. In his 6th letter to me, Sergey said, "John, in my letters to you, can I call you Dad?" Of course, I said yes. So here I am, single and never married, and suddenly I have 4 kids, and I'm a deacon. Wanting to help these kids and more, I started a ministry called Strategic Angel Care, or SAC Orphans. Late in 2002, I surrendered to the ministry full-time and began to work to bring the love of Christ to orphans and at-risk children. Today, nearly 20 years later, I have 4 grown kids, a ministry that reaches orphans in Russia, Estonia, and Latvia, and 4 grandkids that all call me Diedushka John. God had a plan for my life that I could have never imagined. He has a plan for your life too. I made myself available and God called me. God may call you to the mission work too, either here or to the ends of the earth, if you make yourself available. Is God calling you to service? What will you do? My name is John Neese, Executive Director of the SAC Orphans Ministry, and this is my story.